Page 9, everybody. In order to do this, you have to totally understand greatest common factor, which I think most of you are okay with at this point. I'll be honest with you, I am not in love with this concept. It's new to Common Core. Well, it's second year for Common Core. To me, it's one of those questions where if I want to go from here to there, it makes more sense to walk a nice straight line. Common Core is going to show us, this is one of those instances where they're going to take you the long way around, and I don't know exactly what the purpose is behind it, but I've got to expose you to it, and I got to teach it to you because it was on last year's state test. It's not hard. It's just the long way around to figure something out. And for instance, if you 15 plus 55, can you do that in your head? What's the answer? 70, okay? They're going to show you a different way to do it using what's called greatest common factor and distributive property. It's the long way around, but I've got to teach it to you, okay? So be positive and be patient. First thing I'm going to ask you to do is, like you've been doing, find the GCF of 15 and 55, and I'll call you up to the board to have somebody actually do this after you're done. Karen, come up. Everybody get 5. In this example, there's nothing to multiply together. The only thing that's common in both trees is your 5. Okay, here's what you do next. We have factored out the GCF, which is 5. That is going to go on this first line here. That's our GCF. And I'm going to make parentheses. Like, remember when we did distributive property a few lessons ago? There was a number outside the parentheses and then a sum of 2 digits inside. What do you think goes inside the parentheses? Think about what you did here. Look back and see if you can figure out now what would have to go inside the parentheses. And I'll give you a hint. It's going to be 2 numbers added together. Anybody? Come on, make your brains function. You can do this. Brandon, what do you think? Why do you say 3 and 11? How many think 3 and 11? How many are not sure? Okay. Let's see if he's right. We have factored out the 5. Ready? 5 times what makes 15? 5 times what makes 55? Mr. Brandon is correct. Okay. Now what they want you to do, again, remember I explained to you it's the long way around. We add the 2 numbers that are in the parentheses. What's 11 plus 3?
That's really hard work.
That's our next step. And now it becomes a multiplication problem where it's 5 times 14, which in my opinion, that may be harder to do in your head than 15 plus 55. But that's the direction that this lesson goes. It winds up being 70. Okay. Let's do one more together. Go to exercises 1 through 5. There's no advanced set for this. What do you have to do first? Again, 12 plus 18 you could probably do in your head. What's the answer? What's the answer? 12 plus 18 is 30. But what are we going to do first? Jay. Find the GCF. Okay, everybody do that. I'll call you up. Looks good so far. Put it up top with his room. Put it over here. Because we're going to need this bottom stuff, bottom space for room anyway. Not too big. Good. Multiply your two numbers together though. And put a little dot. Equals. How many have GCF 6? Great. Okay. That now has been factored out of both 12 and 18. So that's going to go outside the parentheses. 6. Did you get 6, Gab? What'd you get? I'll look at it in a minute. What goes inside the parentheses? Matt? Right, because after you factor that out, you say to yourself, 6 times what makes your 12? Oh, well, that's 2. 6 times what makes 18? Okay, now what do I have to do? So I have 2 more steps. Seals. Right, you're actually going to add the 2 plus 3 inside the parentheses. And now our final step is the product of 6 and 5, which is, and that is now done. Okay. Good. Number 2 is interesting. But I'm going to let you do that in your groups. I want to see what you come up with. You're actually going to do 2, 3, 4, and 5 on your own now. And after you're done with number 2, show it to me. And if it looks good, then do 3, 4, and 5. And we'll be done after that. Yeah, get into your groups.